Hi, everyone. Hi,
Hey,
hi,
sir.
guys. Please
Hello.
have a seat.
Hi. Thank you.
I was talking with my colleagues that at this hour and after Galena, there will be only 4 people. So thank you for the remaining 17 of you who are still here. So it's my great pleasure to host you guys. We will be talking about marketplaces. So let me briefly introduce you our guests today. First, it is Iskander from FS Holding. So it's a very interesting company located in Cyprus, and it owns the online store Fracht Store, selling fracks.
No, exactly. But you can find a lot of good stuff there.
Okay. So FS Holding is the premier distributor, manufacturer, and retailer of esports and gaming collectibles. Quite a big sector, right?
Huge range of the products, yes.
Excellent. So the next guest is Patrick Mariak, and he is, global lead e-commerce fulfillment, logistics, and IT process innovation, and member of the digital board. It's quite a title, man.
I know. They didn't find more words anymore. So
I'm sure the folks here already have huge expectations, so we have to justify them.
here we go.
Oh?
Yeah.
And then we have Mihnea Stere.
Hi,
Mihnea Stere, hi.
Nice meeting you.
Mihnea
Hi, everybody.
is a retail e-commerce and marketplace expert, and he led EMAC marketplace ecosystem for 2 years and brought it from 300 million to almost 1 billion euro gross merchant value.
That was during pandemic.
Are you hiring people now?
Sure.
Are you hiring people now? No?
Yeah, good question. Yeah. EMAG is hiring continuously, but I think right now you should ask my colleagues.
Okay, I will give it a try maybe.
Yeah.
So Mihnea co-founded Brandslandia and advises Octopia, which is the leading marketplace and merchant as a service provider in Central and Eastern Europe. So Mihnea, what the hell are you doing?
Well, I'm
Please
trying
explain.
to offer more opportunities to your sellers, your audience here to grow into cross-border operations, to expand towards the Central and Western European markets, as well as giving the brands the chance to roll out on multiple territories and channels over the marketplace leaders in Europe.
Okay, thank you. So I have a question for all of you. We all know that in e-commerce, speed is quite important. Speedy delivery, speedy processing of orders, speed reaction on the market, speed everywhere. So what is your best tip for the audience today in terms of being quicker than their competitors when it comes to marketplace sales? So probably we should start from you.
No problem. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. If it comes to speed, we know that our customers, both online sellers as well as the end consumers, they expect respective speed, both in processing as well as on the last mile. And then, of course, comes the cross-border equation, right? Speed can be achieved multiple different ways. So on the one hand, it's, of course, the processes in the warehouse that need to be optimized to full extent. It does not always mean robots all over the place. It really depends on the products. On the last mile, you have to make certain decisions. Do you want to stay in the country where you originate, or do you actually want to be physically present somewhere else? Because you need to also think about being fast in returns, because customers or end consumers do not only expect to receive items fast, they also want to receive money back fast if it comes to returns. So the physical or the location aspect is also something that should not be forgotten. And this is where this is heading. And as we heard already before with EMAG, the marketplaces are pushing the limits, but at the same time providing solutions. That's the thing. And they are not. We cannot think away from them anymore. It's just like EMAG presented that X amount of searches for products are starting on EMAG. The same is for Amazon, right? It is already like the Google for products, depending on which area you're in. So the future is actually both, but marketplaces are going to push the the limits of everyone, but in a positive manner.
For the good of the customers.
Absolutely.
Okay, Iskander, how about speed?
The speed should be as quick as it possible for listing the products and for featuring and to get top positions on the marketplaces. And of course, one of the major aspects of listing the products is the quality of the content. And exactly when you're listing the products and we're featuring and trying to push with a lot of content to end up customers, you have to think which kind of technologies you have to use for that as well. Definitely not everyone's still using, let's say, AI technologies, but AI technologies are helping right now, especially for business development managers, for marketers to introduce their products from different angles and to showcase as much as better they can. So instead of, let's say, for the products which you have to list on the marketplaces, every time before, marketers were using the photo studios to shoot the photos, to then make some blurring to make it looks nice. And definitely this time, what you can do, you just upload even the low quality of the photo to AI platform, anything you want to put in there, and just say, I want to see this product in this kind of environment or moody photos, and then you just in 1 second getting it. These technologies are always improving not only the process, but also the speed of listing. Then, if you get this, if you're listing and making the new content, creating amazing expectation of the customers from that, of course, you're hitting sales. You're getting as much as possible.
Okay, thank you. How about you, Mihnea? What would be your best tip for speed?
Now, as a seller, what I'm doing with my team is once we make sure that we get the products replenished in due time, so that we cannot get an out-of-stock situation. And in order to do so, we use very much the tools offered by the marketplaces that predicts the dynamic of the certain products, and also consider very much the lead times offered by our partners. This is the time you need to get the merchandise picked up and delivered to your warehouse, destination warehouse, from wherever is your partner, France, Germany, Greece, Bulgaria, and so on. And so when we make the orders, the team takes into consideration all of these aspects, the current stocks, the predictions that are offered by the tools of the marketplace partners where we are selling, and the lead times for that. On the other side, we definitely roll our products under the best fulfillment models. And we've seen from a presentation of my ex-colleague, Wana, for eMAG, if you roll their products under the fulfillment model, which we currently do as seller, we have and I think they can update the figures, have up to 97% next day delivery quota. And that means that once available, the product reach the client now in a very fast pace. So these are the two major facts that we, among the others, that we consider when operating brands and placing our offers onto the marketplace.
Okay, thank you. And an add-on to this question again to you, what happens when you have multiple marketplaces, not only one? Should we use the fulfillment of all of them, or you should think about a more different solution?
We've currently integrated with a platform provider, Easy Sales is a Romanian one, that allows you to manage under one voice and one single platform the different channels. So that is one solution, and is the one that we are currently using. So we are also on the expansion plans, looking towards opening new marketplaces and territories, And we think we can best deal with this by one single voice platform that cumulates all of the aspects under one roof.
Okay. And Iskander, how important is to sell in local marketplaces? I know that you are using a lot of local marketplaces. And why should local merchants that are in the audience consider them as an option?
Of course, we all know that many merchants are using different global marketplaces. And but for still the big amount of people, we have differences in perspective and perception of the auditory to whom merchant is selling, and definitely the local marketplaces are more trusted. First of all, because they speak in the same language. The platform built locally and using the specific cultural things, as well as at the current moment, yes, we know that we can get any product from anywhere, but we are not always sure when it will come, the shipping time, the delivery method, and many different things. Exactly for each customer, it's really important, and a lot of customers actually curious about where can I find it faster, better, cheaper, more understandable for me. If I'm talking about this specific region, country, I'm always taking into consideration all of these things. Another point, when you going to the local markets, it's also to be presented widely. To compete on the Amazon, for example, is more difficult than compete in the local market or in the local marketplace. Especially when you're coming with a specific or exclusive products, you always have to think that on Amazon, you'll find 1,000 merchants who will sell the same product with the different prices, and you have to build your brand awareness first. Not the product search, not the specific specification of the product, but the brand awareness. So in the local markets and more marketplaces, it's much easier and faster.
Thank you. So, Patrick, back in 2020, we started a survey among e-commerce retailers, and most of them said that they don't find their products useful for e-commerce. At the same time, they are selling stuff like bikes, for example, furniture, which we know that are categories that are quite suitable for e-commerce. So, what are the logistics challenges for merchants when they have such products? We also have very heavy products, let's say 100 kilos. What would be your suggestion in this aspect?
I mean, you need a logistics provider that is able to cater to that demand. The thing is, with e-commerce, a lot of people think about small little packages going their way.
Which is not always the case, yeah.
Exactly. And this is also how a lot of fulfillment operations are set up, where the focus is so strong on B2C, but B2C for the small stuff, that there are no processes and no equipment on site in that particular warehouse to actually handle the bigger bulky stuff, sometimes even very heavy stuff.
On a pallet, for example.
Exactly. Yeah. So for this, I mean, not every parcel carrier also has a freight network. So it's actually good if your logistics provider also does freight forwarding or has their own assets to move stuff. This is your better home for that kind of business. And of course, last mile, again, over here is then the bigger challenge. Yeah. Really, it is the bigger challenge because the other thing is about space and equipment. Yeah. But last mile, and the moment the cross-border aspect comes into play, this is where you need an experienced road transport provider, because otherwise it won't really work. And then another aspect which is still has a lot of potential for development is actually the tracking of that part, because what the parcel carriers already do very, very well is in terms of road transport, often still in a way, I mean, it looks automated, but it's not, right? So certain events are actually being put there by hand still by an operator. So here is a lot of potential actually beyond what the e-commerce seller can do. It's actually logistics providers who need to provide more. Yeah. And,
yeah. Okay, and probably a question for Mihnea. When merchants are starting their sales in the marketplace for the first time, what are the most common issues they are facing and how they can overcome them?
I think it's important to understand how to reflect the best the content. What we are currently doing, it's taking championing products and brands from Western European marketplaces and bringing onto the Eastern European e-commerce and marketplaces. So by doing so, we make sure first we identify the right candidates based on the number of reviews, on their ratings, and on the traffic, on the ranking, and also from the recommendation of our partners. And then we make sure that we list them so that the local audience where we say, where we are active and sell, get these benefits and the content in the proper way. So as in offline retail, the location is king. Online is all about content. So in order to have a chance to sell properly, you have to have a clean content.
All data, a lot of data in all the aspects.
Yeah, yeah. And one other thing that we also do is that we move the best sellers and the hero products again on the right fulfillment model, which is I'm a full believer in fulfilled by marketplace model, which is the one that we are currently using. And it feels to our needs and to our aspirations, it best reflects what we are pursuing, which is maximum GMV and extracting the maximum value of a potential selling channel.
Okay, thank you. Iskander, you have a broad experience with developing your own products. So in this aspect, what are the pros and cons of developing these products by yourself or versus reselling other companies' products? I mean, does the industry matter in this, or there are some general principles applicable everywhere when it comes to thinking about your own portfolio versus reselling stuff?
Speaking about that, I remember when I just started to work in FS Holding, and that was my first time when I met with a lot of different products which our company was developing, and exactly that was a bit confusing for me to say that do we really need that? But when you're starting to search in the market for the specific products, and you're finding out actually that the market is not so filled with what consumers need, not always, and not with everything. This is the first aspect. The second thing is the quality. Talking about specifically our products, which we're producing under the license by big top companies from the entertainment and the video creators such as Blizzard or DC Comics, Marvel, we always been thinking what we can bring different to our customers. What can be improved from our competitors who also have the licenses and definitely producing quite the same stuff. We focusing also on limitation and exclusivity of the product, because if you will come with, let's say, with some of our product, such as mouse pads, for the gamers, you will not find the same picture. Quite the same you will find, definitely, but not exactly the same. And it will not be the same quality by providing the specific specific range of that kind of mouse pads or any other peripherals for the gamers. So exactly when you considering to create the new product, you always have to think who will buy, to whom I produce, what value I'm putting into this product. Let's say you always can create the simple stuff, put it in the plastic bag, let's say, or paper bag, and start to sell it, to place it everywhere on the marketplaces, local, global, whichever you have access to. But what value you're providing to the customer? By developing, let's say, gaming chairs in our company, we always testing. We're always trying to test how it feels, how it goes, how to use, what kind of issues, problems might cause for the customer. And definitely it's too complicated sometimes to decide which product will go to the market. Let's say when we're designing a lot of different patterns for mousepad, we're choosing actually few of them to produce and pursue with. So I wouldn't say that it's the easiest way to make profit, to create your own business, and to build this actual process of developing the products. But easiest way, as you may think, is to buy from China and bring it to Sofia, Bulgaria, and start to sell it from here. You think that's the easiest way, but not always, because again, what kind of products you bring in from there, from anywhere? To whom, again, and what is the quality, what is the value, and so on. Again, the process when you starting from the scratch, developing the idea, creating the mock-ups, then producing and testing the product, it takes longer time than just to buy and bring. Yes. But how much value you're getting from that? And also, the exclusivity of this and potential of developing your own products is a market game. You can play with the margin, you can play with the prices, you can put as much commission as you can, as you want. Exactly, you have to be more fair with competitors and compete on the market based on the prices. And of course, you also have to think for what will be the cost of production and how I will in the future sell all my stock which I produced. From these points, you have always A/B testings, you have AC testings, and so on. Also, the marketing will always help you to make the survey, discuss with the community. The previous presenter was telling about the TikToks. That's, you can check the trends and follow the trends which are more important for that. It's really long process, but it gives you more.
Okay, thank you. And Patrick, let's assume that I have a broad portfolio of products in many different categories. And I want to sell in many different channels, like my own website, local marketplaces, even some of the global marketplaces. From logistics point of view, what would be your tips for me? How would you organize such a business, let's say?
Know your products, know the market, do your homework, because nobody is going to do it for you. That's the first thing. And based on this, you have to make decisions. Once you know, okay, there is a local marketplace that I need to be at, let's say in Poland, Allegro, for example, right? That's it's amazing how it actually has grown from an auction platform like eBay and to what it is today. When you're in America, you need to be beyond Amazon. You have to be on Walmart Marketplace by now, for example. So you need to know all of them. You need to find a possibility, like platform was mentioned earlier, where you can centrally manage all the orders from all the marketplaces. There are a couple of providers out there who can facilitate this. And then, from a logistics perspective, the logistics provider needs to also be integrated in this whole chain, let's just say, right? Because this is the part that needs to be automated.
And is there any suggestion on your side when it comes to the number of locations you should have? I mean, should I focus on just one location and just try to ship everything from there, like a central location? Or should I spread my items across different fulfillment warehouses, let's say, and then cover the markets?
It is a simple numbers game at the very end, really. Once you're on the market, you have your numbers, and you decide simply, is the decision to be physically in a certain country with your products, instead of just starting, let's say, in the south of Poland or somewhere. Ultimately, you just take, is it worth to be locally on that market to have the benefit of local parcel carrier and respective pricing and 24-hour delivery usually, even without actually paying extra, it's just standard now, and versus the potentially higher labor cost the more you move to the west. So it's really just a numbers game. The start is definitely from one educated decision on where you want to start, but later on you will actually spread. And especially if you talk about destinations that are outside of the European Union, yeah, because the customs piece, getting stuff out, for example, into the UK or US, if that's the way you want to start, is okay. Organizing the returns and the respective export customs reversal is something that's that could cost you customers at the end, because they still expect speed. We are back to speed. Yeah? And this is the decision that you need to make. Okay, is the UK market, for example, something for me? It's better to be there.
And how usually your customers are handling this issue when there are customs? I mean, they're shipping in countries where there should be customs clearance. And let's assume they have a return address in this country. But how about after that? How do they proceed? Are they making a re-import, or they are destroying them, or what? Reselling them?
Depends on the product. Reselling, I mean, really depends on the product, what happens with it. Usually it just ends up on a blocked space and sits there for a while. And then you either re-import it in bulk or destruction, really. You already had the answers in your question.
So in the P&L that you are making, you should have a buffer zone for the returns, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, Mihnea, let's try to draw the profile of the marketplace seller. What is the ideal marketplace seller from the perspective of the marketplace? Is it the one with just a few products? Is it the one with plenty of products, but let's say compromising quality, or what? Is there such a thing like ideal customer for the marketplace?
Now, I'll start by placing the customer first and the customer benefits. So when I was leading the marketplace ecosystem I mentioned, eMAG, I was trying to look at players that were able to bring meaningful selection to our customers that from an analysis were missing on the, let's say, Romanian market or Bulgarian market. And we're trying to identify those players, pitch to them, and make them bring their products onto those core missing categories. So, and it is a game that we are currently doing. No? On the same token, now that I consider the client that I advise, Octopia, acting on the French market, no, mostly, and the Western markets. A meaningful selection for the customers is that it is what a marketplace is really looking for. Now, either in the fastest growing categories, or in the ones that get the highest commission, or in the combined, you see the combined output of GMV and the commission. You have the highest take rate in absolute value or in procentual values. These are the kind of objectives that I think they are considered by the marketplaces when targeting sellers. Specifically, there was a kind of sellers that we are chasing, the ones that aggregated many brands over the past 3 to 4 years and were selling on multiple Western marketplaces. The phenomenon started from US and were selling tens of and even hundreds of brands. So this is a kind of player that brings you a lot of net new selection on the table and a new value proposition to your customers. Yes, so these are, and the quality of the products. It's you don't how to say it, compromise on the quality. I was always looking of products rated more than 4.5% or at least 4%. So this is products that are having a real chance to become category leaders once adopted with the right pricing policy for your customers. The price index is important, reflecting also the regional purchase parity and purchase power of the customers. So yeah, okay. Size is important, the quality is important, and the combination of the output in terms of commission and net take is important when operating as a marketplace.
Okay, thank you. Iskander, how do you address the always increasing tension from the Chinese alternative suppliers, so to say? I mean, you have your own products, you have also some premium goods that you buy from reliable suppliers, but at the end of the day, there comes this Chinese guy who is selling very cheap stuff, which is quite similar, but of course not the same, much cheaper. How do you address this from your perspective?
May I ask the question from auditory?
Yes, of course.
Guys, who was ordering something from any global marketplaces from China? Raise your hand. Okay, another question. Have you ever been satisfied 150% of what you did or what you've got? 150%, 150. Okay, just you see, we have less
people,
less hands then. Okay, another question to you. For how long did you use that product or clothes, whatever? Let's say from 3 months. Okay, less again for more than 1 year. Also few people. Yes. So from that point, I will just continue my answer to you. And for everyone, that's quality and exclusivity, which I already spoke about just recently. Exactly, you can buy cheap stuff. Everything might be cheap. You can go, I guess in Bulgaria you have Jumbo as well. It's a Greek,
yeah.
one of the Greek. I don't know, maybe some of you have been there, might be not, but it's also cheap stuff.
We call it Jumbo nothing for 100 leva, because you enter, you spend 100 leva, at the end of the day you have nothing.
100 leva, 50 euro, right?
50 euro,
sorry,
let's say, yeah.
Sorry, okay, yes, 50 euro. Everyone can spend at least 20 to 50 euro for stuff which they don't need. Me also, when I'm coming to Jumbo in Cyprus to shop for some specific products, and you go through all of these shelves and just taking everything and putting into the basket. Then before that, to do that, you have to ask yourself, do I really need this product? Do I really supposed to use this product, and how will I feel about this product? That's coming up with our products, which FS Holding selling through our partners, distribution, retail. It's not that cheap as other companies from China and from other countries. But with that products, we are always providing billings. We are always providing the sense that it's your, which you will use for a long, long time, not just because you can't afford it, or not just because you will spend €5 or €1 for some unnecessary stuff, but because you always have to think to buy something good and be satisfied and always be happy with that, or you will just buy something and forget about it. For the gamers specifically, which products we are selling mostly, it's really important to have exclusive product which will reflect themselves, which will show up who they are. So as actually many good and well-known brands in the world do, so you will never feel the same level of the excitement by having the stuff from, let's say, Jumbo and from Prada. It's a different feelings, different emotions. That's what is coming up when we speak about those companies. And I don't really afraid, actually, to say that they're not our competitors. When you as a sellers, when you as a producers, as a distributor, providing to your customers exclusiveness at the same moment, specific products, you will never be care, or you will never worry about those kind of marketplaces.
Okay, thank you very much. And a final question for Patrick. Are there any difference from logistics and fulfillment point of view when you are selling to end customers and when you are selling to marketplace customers, or it is at the end of the day all the same?
Yes and no. It depends.
Okay, again, it depends.
It depends. I mean, we see a lot of our very successful customers who sell online is that they have a mix of their own web shop. They use fulfillment by marketplace models and fulfillment by merchant models, which then again is just fulfillment. So, and while the first and the last is actually the same, the fulfillment by marketplace model is different because you're usually doing the replenishment, and that has to be on time according to certain rules. Each and every marketplace and their respective fulfillment centers have certain instructions that you need to meet, be it how do you label the pallets, which vehicle is being used to supply. So those are the things that you need to look at and understand, and either yourself, or when you do the logistics on your own, or your logistics service provider, they need to know all these nuances. And this is really it.
Okay, thank you. And a final question for Mihnea. Up to which extent merchants are able to negotiate with marketplaces, or they should just accept all the rules that the marketplace is trying to impose? What is your tip on this? should merchants try to negotiate somehow? And are there any, how to say, even small ways for negotiations?
Look, that's a good question. The sales fees are public and should apply equally to all of the sellers. There might be some sellers that can prove that can add significant value added to those marketplaces, and that could mean that they, knowing this, could initiate something. If they are successful in doing so, or special fees will be applied, I cannot tell. Now, it depends very much on the value that you're putting on the table. Not that it's for my knowing that many marketplaces do negotiate their fees. Yeah, I would say you have to be a significant one to
negotiate,
to be able to approach successfully such a direction.
Okay, so thank you very much, gentlemen. And if anybody from the audience has any questions, you are free to do it when our guests are down on the stage. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Good.
Please.